By early 1945, the future of the German war effort was as bleak as ever. Poland was taken by the Soviet Red Army, and the Allies had pushed over the Rhine River with hopes of taking Berlin. On January 16, 1945, Adolf Hitler fled to his private bunker, the Führer Bunker. On April 20th, Hitler's birthday, Soviet forces began to bombard the city with artillery. By nightfall on the 21st, Soviet tanks were waiting on the outskirts of the city, and the fate of Berlin was sealed. On the 22nd, Hitler asked SS physician Werner Haas what the most reliable method of suicide would be, and Haas suggested the pistol and poison method, combining a cyanide pill with a shot to the head. On the 19th of April, Hitler married his companion Eva Braun in a small ceremony in the bunker. On April 30th at 1 a.m., Field Marshal Wilhelm Keitel informed Hitler that all the forces that Hitler had been depending on to rescue Berlin had either been circled or forced onto the defensive. At around 2:30, Hitler appeared in the corridor where about 20 people, mostly women, were assembled to give their farewells. He walked the line and shook hands with each of them before returning to his quarters. By late morning, the Soviets were less than 500 meters from the Führer bunker. That afternoon, Hitler ate lunch and then said farewell to Martin Bormann, Joseph Goebbels, and other military officers and their families. Around 2:30, Adolf and Eva went into his personal study. At 3:30, witnesses reported hearing a loud gunshot. The two bodies were hastily cremated to avoid the Red Army from taking the body as a trophy. The bodies burned for around 2 hours and were buried in a shallow bomb crater around 6:30 on April 30th. On the 1st of May, a Hamburg, Germany radio station broadcasted that Adolf Hitler was dead and that Karl Donitz was the new president of Germany. Soviet Union ruler Joseph Stalin learned of Hitler's suicide around 13 hours after the event. Upon learning of the suicide, Stalin wanted confirmation that Hitler was dead and ordered the Red Army's SMERSH unit, a culmination of 3 counterintelligence agencies present within the Red Army, to find the corpse. In the early morning hours of May 2nd, the Soviets captured the Reich Chancellery. On May 4th, the thoroughly burned remains of Hitler, Braun, and 2 dogs, thought to be Hitler's, were discovered in a shell crater by SMERSH commander Ivan Klimenko. They were exhumed the next day and secretly delivered to the SMERSH counter-espionage section of the 3rd Assault Army. Stalin was wary of believing Hitler was dead and restricted the release of information to the public. By May 11th, part of a lower jaw with dental work was identified as Hitler's, and his dentist assistant and dental technician both confirmed the dental remains to be of Hitler and Braun. So why would anyone doubt this story? Let's get into some theories. The most popular theory surrounding Hitler's death is that he survived and made it to Argentina, using different methods based on who you ask. After the war had concluded, British and American intelligence agencies were flooded with reported sightings in a wide variety of places. Only a month after the end of the war, Stalin informed President Truman that Hitler was actually still alive, but Russia then reversed the claim and said he was dead. The theory of Hitler fleeing to Argentina is partially fueled by the stunning amount of high-ranking Nazis who did successfully escape there. This includes Adolf Eichmann, the mastermind behind Germany's Final Solution, Josef Mengele, known as the Angel of Death, and many others. The central theory is that Hitler faked his suicide with 2 body doubles, one for him and one for Eva, and then he was flown out of Berlin in the last days before the Battle of Berlin, landed in Denmark before continuing on to Spain, and then subsequently taken to Argentina in a German U-boat, where he arrived at his ranch on horseback. Now, this is definitely a wild theory, so is there any evidence to support it? Well, not much. This theory is more conspiracy than anything and has little evidence to actually prove it. In 2009, researchers made headlines after revealing that the skull showcased by the Russians to be that of Adolf Hitler was actually a female skull. However, in 2018, French researchers were allowed access to the jawbone, which was also recovered, and were able to compare it to dental records of Hitler and confirm that it was the jaw and teeth of the Führer. Based on the evidence, or lack thereof, it seems conclusive that Adolf Hitler died in the Führer bunker on March 1st, 1945. With the lack of conclusive evidence in Argentina tying the country with Hitler, it's hard to believe that if Eichmann or Mengele couldn't stay hidden, Hitler likely could not either. On the same note, evidence. Both forensic and witness testimony point to Hitler committing suicide with little hope of escaping Germany and the Red Army. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing or liking the video, and leave a comment with suggestions for future videos.